Will Pucovski has already proven to be quite the headache pill for Justin Langer. This is my video cricket YouTube video page. I offer analysis on cricket. Hope you like and subscribe my pages. I'm pretty chuffed for making quite a few predictions correctly. I thought Pucovski and Warner would open the batting for the Sydney Test. I was correct about that. I argued that rhythm for Australia's batting will be key, meaning they can go for 2 runs and over for a substantial period of time and play cautiously, but at a certain stage, a partnership needs to develop, and that partnership's development needs to manifest itself in a change of scoring rate. We saw that happen in this particular test match as well, as Australia started to score at a much quicker pace after playing the first 25 overs. They were somewhere around 50, going at 2 runs and over, and then between the runs of 50 to 100 to 150, I would say they went at a pretty brisk pace, and they were able to score 166 for two, something around that mark, having faced 55 overs on a rain-shortened day in Sydney, the third test match, Border Gavaskar, between India and Australia. This video is not going to look at the entirety of the test and all the different actors involved, but rather it will focus specifically on Australia's debutant, Will Pucovski. Many people have argued that Will Pucovski is a superstar in the making. They include some of the great cricket stars Australia has ever produced, such as Ricky Ponting, as well as many other professional cricket players Australia has produced, like Cameron Green, and Will Pucovski's tutor, I suppose, Andrew McDonald, he's currently the batting coach of Australia, and he was the head coach of Cricket Victoria that Will Pucovski represents in the domestic game in Australia. However, if you're not a professional cricket player and you're an amateur cricket player, or you just love to watch the game itself, and you want to get a sense of what makes a cricket player special rather than just very, very good, I hope this video will be able to highlight some of the things your eyes can look at as you're watching the game. And if you already know these insights, I hope this video is just informative and fun to listen to anyways. So one of the key parts of Will Pucovski's game that I found very encouraging, and why I am also on the train that believes that he will be a superstar in the making, is two things that I see in great cricket batsmen or batswomen, which is as follows. First thing, their head is balanced, and secondly, while their head is balanced, their legs are also actually balanced. But what do I mean by balanced when I use this term for head and the legs being balanced, right? Balance, I use it very consciously. I mean balance as opposed to still. Too often in cricket manual, you will see people use the word still very repeatedly. I don't think it's a very useful word. I think it is counterproductive. And the easiest way to start to think about and challenge the use of the word still in cricket manuals is to just compare or contrast the bowler and the batter. The bowler gets to hurl a ball at you, which is not still. It in swings, it outswings, it yorks you, it smashes you on the toes, it can hit you on the head, it can smack you in the ribs. It flies. There's flights on it. It has revolutions. It dips. It comes out of the hand at different pace. After pitching on the pitch, it has different heights. It skids. It speeds up. It comes a little slower. It comes like a tennis ball bounce. I mean, so the ball is able to do all those different kinds of movements. Why should the batter, in other words, be still? Seems like you're a bit of a lame duck waiting to get out, which I think is the case too. I mean, I just don't like the example, the use of the word still. I prefer the word balance more. And even though the word balance and still are oftentimes used interchangeably, I think they're two very different kinds of words. Think about dance, for example. A dancer is never still. Dance is about movement, right? But dancers are always balanced. So how could you be moving it all the time but be so balanced? Well, one way to think about balance is to think about the gravity of your body having a center to it, right? So a balanced person, even if they're dancing, let's say I'm dancing right now, I'm moving my head, I'm bobbling it, I'm moving my shoulders, I'm moving my hands. I look pretty balanced, but if I were to go like this, that doesn't look balanced, or this, that doesn't look balanced, right? The latter was overbalancing, the former was kind of underbalancing, perhaps. Will Pucovski coincidentally got out on a ball on which he was overbalancing. He knows about it. I don't need to explain that to him. And he will deal with that for the rest of his career, which is fine. I mean, most batters have a certain way of going about things, and they're not necessarily weaknesses in their game. It's just some things that they have to just be conscious of. And he knew about it right away. He didn't even go for DRS, which I thought was a very smart move. There's too many stupid DRSs being taken around the world, and you're starting to learn more about batsmen more as opposed to the umpires now by the way in which they go about using DRS. So I think his maturity, which is a different topic altogether, was very redolent in how he told Labuschagne no Meram Plum, and he knew, because he knew where his off stump is. He knew his head had overbalanced. He knew what had happened on that ball to him. So kudos to him. He's a smart guy. He knows his game inside out as well. But anyways, going back to balance. Balance means you have your center of your gravity while things around move, because the center is so well tight knit, right? So because you're so balanced, you can move. People with good balance are good movers. That's why I use the word balance as an antonym of being still. Still sounds too much like still. Just don't move. No, you should be moving, right? You should be moving on the crease. So I want to show some examples of Will Pucovski's game from yesterday. Let's look at a short skit from the highlight package that Cricket Australia has set up for us. And then after doing Will Pucovski, I would also like to give examples of other players to juxtapose with from Will Pucovski, players who I would consider to be in the very good category, but not the great category. One of those players, his stocks is going rising, the other stock has gone down. But either case, the point here is I'm using some examples of very good players so that you can see, regardless of whether they're in a team, their stocks are up or their stocks are down, you can gain a sense of what makes them very good rather than great, and what makes Will Pucovski on the verge of being great the more test matches he plays. So this is basically that moment where a big moment in the game. Actually, this is the ball. This is after. Maybe this is the one where he did. Sorry, this is it. This is the moment where he actually edges outside next to Ashwin, and Pant drops the catch. You can watch the ball, and you should watch the ball, but let's pay attention to his footwork and his head at the same time, right? This is the ball on which he actually struggles, right? He should have gotten out on this ball. But I want you to pay attention to his legs, his head, as the video starts. Okay, now in that frame, what Ashwin does really well is that his pace and his length was perfect, right? Ashwin bowls at a length which isn't too full enough to come forward, and it's not short enough to go back, because the loop in the ball makes you say, I'm not gonna, because the ball is still in flight. It's not pitching fast enough for Will to just go back, rock back, and hit a different shot. It seems like it's going to go fuller and fuller and fuller. So it's like, I think I need to go forward for this ball. It seems like a full pitch ball, right? But it's just not full enough for him to really get forward enough to hit the ball. So the length was perfect from Ashwin, right? Now, Will wasn't too bad either. So let's just look at what Will is able to do. Let's go back a little again, perhaps. Right there. This is what many people would call a forward press, his forward leg going forward, right? But pay attention to how he's trying to, even as he struggles on this ball, not just stop with that forward press. His movement doesn't just stop there, which is not a bad sign, which is a good sign. But the movement does not fully culminate with the change because of Ashwin's genius, right? Ashwin's length was so good that he got Will. But look at how Will is just not content with that forward press. Just watch his back leg. Still pressed right there. He's trying to get to the ball as best as he possibly can. He gets the outside edge, but he's not sitting like a big ship just going down the water. He's not too still. He's well balanced. The ball is too good though. Okay, so you can get out. I mean, you can be a great player and get out on balls like that too, because the baller is really good too. But again, the forward press is not, my point here is that yes, there is just a forward press and the back leg is leaning up as well, and that's what you should be doing. But the point of the forward press is not a kind of mechanical decision like, boom, I'm going to forward press my leg. No, you forward press as you watch the ball land, right? It's not a mechanical decision that no matter what's happening, I'm just going to boom forward press. I'm just going to boom, go back and across. You don't just boom, go do anything. You watch the ball and you decide what to do as you're reading the ball's length. So Will forward presses, again, we can actually see this one more time. Watch when Will forward presses in comparison to when the ball is being released, right? Okay, not yet, not yet. The ball's still in the air. And now he's about to forward press because he realizes this ball is a full pitch delivery. Initially, he was not certain. By initially, I mean like literally point nano of a second before, he was not certain if it's going to be full pitched or not. Now he believes the ball is full pitched, and then he gets deceived by the length because it's just not full pitched enough. Right there, he's just deceived a little. Oops, it's a little too short still, right? Just a good ball. But again, the forward press, my point is not a decision Will just makes because he's like, it's a spinner bowling, it's off spinner, boom, I got to go forward. No, he's thinking about what the ball's about to do, and he's thinking about it till the end. Even till the end, right? Even that little reaction, it's not just like looking at what's happening in the back. He's thinking about his back foot. He's thinking, could I have done something with my back foot as well on that? Anyways, Pan drops it so we can move on. Steven, his back foot, still kind of leaning forward, right? He's still a bit on the move, which is a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. Now watch him adjust. Well, first of all, the length will again be stretched a little back by Ashwin. But just watch how Will Pucovski adjusts for this ball. And just look at his legs and his head. Okay. He's already made 3 moves within that nano of a second. Okay. He went forward press and he went back and across already. You want to see that again? Let's show you that one more time. Okay. Watch where he is. His back foot is positioned on the leg stump, and his front foot with a little bit of a gap between back foot and front foot, so that he's able to see what's happening, and he's not standing too what are they what's the word they use, like he's a little bit front, not too squared up, a little bit of a front alignment. Look how much happens in between 2.02 seconds and 2.03. In this 1 second, look how much the legs have already accomplished. Okay, while the head is as balanced as it can be, but the legs are balanced too. But the legs are moving. The head is balanced as well, but it's not really moving so much. It's just think about it like the head is like your hands, and the legs are like your steering. All right. So, poochie pooch. So just watch how much the legs accomplish here. He's going forward. But as he went forward, he's also went back and across. All right, forward and then back and across. That's a dance move. He's dancing out there, while his head is helping. It's maneuvering that movement to take place. It's like the steering making the wheels move, I guess, right? He realizes he can go back and he can hit it as a short pitch delivery. Watch. Boom, 4. Come on, Patch. Come on. My dog wants to go to the bed, so I gotta take her out. All right. So he had quite a few 4s like that in his innings. Ashwin's figures were not as good as they were before, even though Ashwin himself bowled just as well as he bowled in the first 2 test matches. He started off looking like he's going to dominate Australia again. I think that was the key moment of that match, right? That was where that day turned into Australia's day. It looked like Ashwin will again have a stronghold, take a couple of more wickets, get Australia 45 for 3 again, put him under the pressure once more. It didn't happen, thankfully, because of the drop catch. That was a key moment. That's why you want to take your catches, because it can define the way the day ravels or unravels for you, right? But I just wanted to show you that video of how Pucovski is able to move within a second. He's able to go front press on this front foot, right? The front press, back and across, and then give him some little bit more room and crunch the ball, all happening within 1 second of a time, right? So when people say, you go front press and then you go this, it's happening fluidly. It's not a mechanical decision of duck, 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 or I just do this, that. And you make these decisions while the ball has already been released. It's after the release and before it hits the deck. In that less than 1 second, in that half a second or 0.3 of a second, even against a spin bowler, right? You make these quick decisions. In order to make those quick decisions, you have to have balance, not still, but balance, right? That's what makes Pucovski such a great player. Now, I want to compare Pucovski to some very good players. One of them is Travis Head, who was dropped from this test match, not for Pucovski per se, but really, I think Cameron Green is the reason why reason why the combination of Travis Head and Matthew Wade was numbered, and so basically he got dropped really for Cameron Green, really, but anyways, point being is Cameron Green was dropped from this test match, even though um, they had, they could have used him, they could have played him, but they dropped him. So his stocks are going down. Travis Heads. The other guy is Mohammad Rizwan, whose stocks are going up. He's played barely 10 test matches. He's already the vice captain of his team. He's already captained the team twice. He scored, I think, 550s consecutively. Just the last innings of his, he wasn't able to score a 50. Nobody's complaining about Rizwan. Nobody's scrutinizing his technique. Nobody's calling for his dropping from Pakistan's test team. Not to do so much with Pakistan's standards right now. They're doing poorly, but even if they were doing good, he has competition with Sarfraz Ahmed, but nobody is saying Mohammad Rizwan should be dropped from Pakistan's team. So, but his stocks are up. But the point is, both of them, Travis Head and Mohammad Rizwan, have a certain way about going to play. In their way is they lunge a little too much. Okay, so when they forward press, it's pressing a little too hard. It's like when you press the gear of a car and you just go right, and there's a boom, kind of like an overbalanced reaction, right? If you press the car and you press the brakes too hard, your head goes buck, right? You don't want to do that. You want to press a little smoothly. So as you press the brake, you're able to accelerate a little, right? So you can stay balanced, but boom is a little too much. Now, on pressing that brake, if you're able to smack the ball in the middle, the ball, you can hit a beautiful, outrageous cover drive as well. It looks great, but you're always going to be in trouble nicking the ball, getting LBW, and getting bowled as well, most importantly, right? Your outside edge of the bat and your inside edge of the bat will always be under risk. So I'll have a couple of instances of that happening against fast bowling. First one, if you guys recall, Jofra Archer bowling Travis Head, for all those Australian cricket fans and England cricket fans, right? This is a ball where Archer was able to just castle through Head and make it look kind of embarrassing, but it's a moment for Archer more so than a low moment for Head. So it comes from Jofra Archer's best summer moments highlight reel. It's not so much a video making fun of Travis Head as much a video lauding Archer's bowling prowess, right? But what I recall from watching this match live vividly is that just before this delivery, maybe two deliveries before this, or it could have just been the ball right before this one, Travis had it creamed Archer for a four through the cover area, just creamed it. Okay, not a bad ball from Archer, but he was able to just boom, cream that ball. Same kind of delivery, same kind of shot. The ball darts in, and the rest is history. So right there, you could see the legs are still. Okay, they're not balanced. They're still. He's waiting. He's waiting. He's waiting. He's waiting, and he goes boom. Right, just even after the ball has already castled him. Everything goes forward press, right? There is no fluidity in the movement because he's too still at the start of when he's standing at the crease, right? So when you're watching it, you say to yourself, okay, he looks good. So you pay all the attention to Archer's bowling, which is a damn good ball, right? Archer, it's great fast bowler. So I'm not going to bring the bowlers into the equation because they are just good. We know that already, that they're good. They're really good bowlers. This is about the batters instead. So we already know what Archer can do, but it's really a question about what Travis Head could have done instead as well. And the issue with Travis Head, of course, there is that the body is way too still. And because it's so still, it has that kind of effect that you have when you're driving a car and you slam into the brakes, right? Your whole body just moves ahead, and it's happening at a happening too late. It starts to look ugly, even though it initially doesn't look bad at all. It looks like a perfectly good batsman. Um, in addition to Archer video with head, we have a very similar instance of what happens to Mohammad Rizwan. Okay, so if you don't remember Archer getting head bowled, just the delivery after head had creamed him for a cover drive for 4. Here's something that is eerily similar to what happens to Mohammad Rizwan against Kyle Jamieson. Creamed on drive for 4, right? Looks good, good ball, good bowler, hits him for a 4, right? So you look at this and you say he's a great player, right? He's a very good player, shouldn't be dropped. Look, that beautiful cover drive, on drive for 4. I think it's the next ball. Both examples, the batter gets bowled, but right after the ball crashes the stump, you can see their whole body is like 2 yards ahead of the crease. They end up somewhere completely different after the ball has already passed them, right? Hopefully, let's see if they show the highlights of what just happened. Oh, okay, so they don't show it. But the point being is, in both of these cases, when you look at the batter, I mean, look where he's standing at the point at which the ball hits the clips, right? Like he's standing like on the 7th stump is where his back leg is. Um, he moves a lot, but it all happens after the ball has already passed him because he was way too still. So there's too much lunging going on. It's the movement is not fluid enough. My point being is when you're too still, you're also going to be lunging too much, which is my issue with people, coaches who say be still on the crease, because still will eventually lead to just lunging. Okay, it's going to have the same effect like a car driver presses on the brakes. You're still and then you go boom, right? You don't want that as a batsman. You want to be just fluidly balanced. All right. That doesn't mean tuck, 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 tuck. It's not too mechanical. It's not too fidgety. People say Steve Smith is fidgety. Yeah, he is. He's kind of a dork like that. But watch his, ignore the antics, ignore the face, ignore the kind of like a dorky face that he makes. Ignore the kind of looks of him, like looks like a anxious, like computer kid. Like just instead pay attention to the rest of his body. It's a dancer. All right. It's not a fidgety guy. It's a dancer. Even though he's doing this, get out of his anxious look. He gives the illusion that he's so anxious, but no, he's feeling himself. He's feeling. He's holding his hand, moving it. But he's not. My point is, these guys are far more fidgety, even though they don't look fidgety, right? They're way more fidgety. They're too still, and then they go boop. It's like kind of they vomit. Like when the ball passes them, their whole body like vomits, right? It feels like that vomiting kind of motion. That's the issue. Rizwan, Travis Head, very good players. Both vice captains of their team. Rizwan stocks going up, Travis Head stocks going down. But the issue is not that's just that just happens to cricket players. Their stocks go up and down at different stages of their career. My point is, I'm not against Travis Head. I'm not saying, see, Travis is a bad player, deserves to be dropped. My point is, I want to show to you what makes a Will Pucovski set apart from these two players who are also very good players, right? What makes Will Pucovski that much more special? It's the fact that he's able to be balanced and not too still. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, this comparison, and look forward to your feedback. Apologies for going up and down. Battery was low, dog was being funny. So I hope that wasn't too distracting for you and you were able to pay attention all the way through. So anyways, apologies again for that, but thank you for watching this video.